Hi everybody, we are Phil and Karen Lazo, and we wanted to share a little bit about our story as Christ followers and some of the things that have happened to us and how God has blessed our lives. A big part of our story began back on January 18th, 2003. And that's a tragic day in our family because that was the day that our 8-year-old daughter, Lindsay-Grace, was killed in an auto accident. And as we tried to absorb that trauma into our lives, we learned very soon that God had really been preparing us for that for some time. And we didn't even know about it. But He did start to reveal some of those sources as we move forward into the story.
I love the verse from Isaiah that says, "It will come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and while they are speaking, I will hear." And God said that through Isaiah 65:24. And one of the stories of how God prepared us for this before we knew that we needed help was told to us by one of Lindsay-Grace's dear friends. His name is Tori. And months before Lindsay-Grace's accident, she had dreams that someone close to her was going to pass away. And many mornings she would come down and tell her family, and her family would pray for the situation, not knowing that they were really praying for us. And some mornings Tori would come down and her parents would say, "Did you have the dream?" And she'd say yes or no, but they would still pray for us. And so we were being covered in prayer by this family even before we knew that we needed prayer. And it was interesting that she had this dream just a few days before Lindsay-Grace passed. Then Lindsay-Grace passed, and then she never had this dream again.
I know the story came from a friend of ours from our church, and she wrote us a letter a few weeks after, and this is how it goes. It says, "Sometime in late December or early January, one of the last times that I saw Lindsay-Grace alive, I was near the second grade classroom in church. When I looked at Lindsay-Grace, I had this strange sensation that I was almost looking through her, like she was transparent or something. This has happened to me exactly once before in my life. And that was when I saw a friend from college several years before he passed away from cancer. I thought it was really odd. This is a happy, healthy little girl. What's going on?" As I turned to walk away, my heart suddenly felt very sad, and I heard a voice in my mind say something like, "How will they ever live without her?" By this time, I was thinking I was totally loopy. I had forgotten this incident until at the memorial service, Karen, you said something like, "I don't know how we're going to live without her." I began questioning the Lord in prayer. Why did you give me whatever you want to call this? And very quietly, the Lord placed these words in my heart. What was your response? Well, after the incident, and after thinking I was totally crazy, and before dismissing it as some crazy, weird thought, I did what I often do when things don't make sense to me. I prayed. I prayed for your family. I prayed for Lindsay-Grace. I can't remember what I prayed, but you see, Karen and Phil, God was calling people to lift up your family in prayer even before anything had happened.
A third story that really meant a lot to us was told to us by one of Lindsay-Grace's teachers, Patty Oldham, and she agreed to tell the story in her own words.
Hi, my name is Patty Oldham. I was one of Lindsay-Grace's third grade teachers at Bond Mill Elementary School. And this is my story. On Saturday, January 18th, 2003, my husband and I woke up and decided to go on a ski trip. We packed everything up, and by the time we got to Route 70, it was closed. Both ways on Route 70 were just blocked up with traffic. My husband turned the car around in the median strip, and I glanced back to see what all the commotion was about, and there was just a horrific accident. We could see a very mangled Jeep. And also I was struck because there was a helicopter in the middle of the road. I asked my husband to pull over. I asked him to stop so we could pray. We were in the habit of just going by accidents and praying if we saw, but we've never felt led to stop, to pull over. So we pulled over. We prayed for the people in the accidents. We prayed for the families. We just prayed for God to just move in that situation. And then we went on with our ski trip. And when I got home later that night, I received a phone call that Lindsay-Grace was involved in an accident. And we put the pieces together, and that was indeed the accident that we had seen that morning and prayed for. So I just want to tell you that our hearts were led to pray for the families and people involved. and such a small, tiny role, but we were glad for whatever comfort we could have brought to the families.
So it just goes to show that God is often preparing things beforehand that we don't really know about, and we don't know what He's up to all the time. But we have to believe, and we do believe, that God is always at work, and He's always preparing us for what's to come.
And if you're interested in hearing more of our story of how God proved trustworthy, not only for preparing us, but also for comfort and hope and purpose, you can check out our website, truststory.org, and we're also on Facebook, and we'll have some other video content on there as well to share more incredible stories of what God has done in our lives. But thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.